Today I'm going to be reviewing the NRSV, the C.S. Lewis Bible, for reading, reflection, and inspiration. This is again the New Revised Standard Version, and this is from Zondervan. So before we get into the Bible here, let's talk about the features. So it says, read and reflect on Scripture alongside C.S. Lewis. C.S. Lewis was one of the intellectual giants of the 20th century and arguably one of the most thought-provoking and influential Christian writers of his day. Countless readers have found insight and inspiration from his uniquely articulate view of God's interaction with the world. The NRSV C.S. Lewis Bible provides readings composed of selections from Lewis's celebrated spiritual classics, a collection that includes Mere Christianity, The Screwtape Letters, The Great Divorce, The Problem of Pain, Miracles, A Grief Observed, The Weight of Glory, and The Abolition of Man, as well as letters, poetry, fiction, and Lewis's less familiar works. Each reading in this NRSV Bible, paired alongside relevant passages in the Bible, offers C.S. Lewis as a companion to your daily meditation of Scripture. As you engage in your devotional Bible reading, you will also gain insight from Lewis's writings and spiritual journey as you invite him into your spiritual discipline. And then it just talks about how it's set in Zondervan's exclusive NRSV comfort print typeface, a smooth reading experience that complements the foremost Bible translation vetted by Protestant, Catholic, Orthodox, Evangelical, and Jewish scholars. Renowned for its beautiful balance of scholarship and readability, the NRSV faithfully serves the church in personal spiritual formation, in the liturgy, and in the academy. So it's just a little bit about the translation. And then, of course, we just said this is in the New Revised Standard Version, the Protestant canon. It says it's vetted by an ecumenical pool of Christian academics and renowned for its beautiful balance of scholarship and readability. There are over 600 selections from C.S. Lewis's writings placed next to Scripture for contemplation and devotional reading. We're going to get essays on C.S. Lewis's view of Scripture and journey of faith, indexes to his writings, double column format, and it is a sewn binding. We have a satin ribbon marker. We're going to get that NRSV comfort print, and this is in a 10-point font size. Okay, so let's go ahead and get this out of the box. I have the brown leather soft edition. There is also a hardcover edition available. Okay, so I really like the cover. I like the color, and I like this little design on it. We're also going to see that design on the spine with Holy Bible, NRSV, and Zondervan. We also are going to have perimeter stitching, paste down liner. I like the gold in this Bible as well. I think that's really nice looking, really attractive. So we're going to have our title page, of course, here, our table of contents. Then we're going to get an alphabetical list of books of the Bible as well as abbreviations. An editors and advisory board. And then we're going to have an article, Why a C.S. Lewis Bible? Another article, C.S. Lewis and the Bible. And then we're going to have the spiritual journey of C.S. Lewis. An editor's note. A note to the reader. And then we're going to get into the Old Testament. I love these ornate designed pages here. Very nice addition to this Bible. Now this is going to have some gold, the gold color scheme throughout. So the chapter numbers are in gold. You're also going to see the names of our books in gold. And then the quotations here are in gold as well. So this one, the first one, Genesis 1:1, the reflection says, no philosophical theory which I have yet come across is a radical improvement on the words of Genesis, that in the beginning God made heaven and earth. And that's from his writing Miracles. So as we go through, you're going to see a double column layout for the scripture. It is a 10-point font, very easy to read. And then throughout, you're going to see these little quotes, like I just read one to you. And then there's also longer, I don't know what you call them here, longer notes, longer articles, longer sidebars, whatever you want to call them, from C.S. Lewis's work throughout the Bible. And it'll tell you, which I like, it tells you which scripture verse or verses it goes along with. So you can, if you're not doing a read through, then you can just read those verses, just and study them a little further with this devotional content that comes along with them. So for example, this one's down here, says reflection, Genesis 3, 1 through 5. So if I would probably read that first, and then I would come back and read the thoughts from C.S. Lewis below. So this is more of a devotional Bible. I wouldn't call this a study Bible. You just are going to have these notes from the works of C.S. Lewis throughout, interspersed through the scripture. So it's just a nice way to add to your devotional time as you're reading through. If you're doing a read through of the Bible, or maybe you're just picking out certain passages to read or study, this would be a good one to do that in. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to skip ahead and I'll read a little bit more from this too, like one of the little notes here, so you can see a little more what it sounds like. I did read that quote to you in the beginning there, but I want to do a little bit more than that as well. So just kind of paging through so you can see what the Bible looks like and the layout. Here's Psalms. And if we go back into the New Testament here, look at that, I turned right to Matthew. Wasn't that lucky there? You're going to see that it is a black letter text. So I like that. I think that I prefer black letter, but I think it looks nice just keeping it with this black and gold color scheme. So now I marked a passage here in Philippians. Just want to move. So be really careful when you put post-it notes on. You don't rip them off. I'm sure you know that already, but I just try to be really careful when I put my notes, my post-it notes in and out like that. So I was just looking at this, these passages here in Philippians. Is something I could go over with you here. So this one says, living is Christ and dying is gain. And this is based on, or this is, I cannot talk today, I apologize. This is a reflection on Philippians 1:21. So if I look back to that, now it actually fell on the previous page here. So Philippians 1:21 says, For to me, living is Christ and dying is gain. So if I read that, then I could come here. It says, what a state we have got into when we can't say, I'll be happy when God calls me without being afraid. One will be thought morbid. After all, St. Paul said just the same. If we really believe what we say we believe, if we really think that home is elsewhere and that this life is a wandering to find home, why would we not look forward to the arrival? There are, aren't there, only 3 things we can do about death: to desire it, to fear it, or to ignore it. The third alternative, which is the one the modern world calls healthy, is surely the most uneasy and precarious of all. And that was taken from a letter to Mary Willis Shelbourne, written on June 7th, 1959. So just gives you a little idea. These over here were taken from his work of Mere Christianity. But there's all kinds of different essays, and some of them are from books that he published, like Mere Christianity, and there's also like I read in that previous passage there, some from letters that he wrote to people. So there's a lot to dive into here in this Bible. Now I did mark here at the end of the Bible. At the end of the Bible, we're going to get Reflections on Scripture by C.S. Lewis. And then we're going to get indexes. So this is an index of books by C.S. Lewis. If you're interested, you read some quotes and you're like, hey, that book sounds like it'd be really interesting. I'd like to, read the full work. You can see here where to find those books, what their titles are, when they were published, etc. And then you're going to get an index by source. So, for example, it starts out with The Abolition of Man. It gives you the chapter, it gives you the page number, and then it gives you, the chapter and page number, let me explain that a little further. The chapter and page number from that work, where it was taken from, and then it gives you the scripture that goes along with it and where you can find that alongside the scripture. So an index by source, and then, if I can get my pages to turn properly here, we're going to get an index by scripture reference. So if you're looking for what was in Genesis, you can look here. It gives you the verse in Genesis. It gives you the work that it came from C.S. Lewis, and even the page number within that work from him, that book or whatever it's from. Okay, and at the end of the scripture references, I believe we're at the end of the Bible. So the index by scripture reference then is the last thing, and then we get that nice gold paste down liner, and then we are at the end of the Bible. So if you enjoy the works of C.S. Lewis, or if you're looking for a good devotional Bible to start reading in 2024, this would be a really great option for you. It's very reasonably priced. It's been out for a few years. So there's, like I said, there's this imitation leather here, the leather soft, and there also is a hardcover option as well. So this is the C.S. Lewis Bible, and this is in the NRSV translation, and it is from Zondervan, and Zondervan did provide a copy of this Bible in return for an honest review.